Om Namaste. I thank the whole team of our Chinmaya Mission Northwest Indiana Center. We have a beautiful Ganesh ji over there, and in the observance of Shri Ganesh Chaturthi festival leading all the way up to Anand Chaturdashi, where the Sthapana of Ganesh ji is done, in so many homes, Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad is chanted. It is a common tradition in the state of Maharashtra to chant Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad every day. In fact, several times they do it, as he is the presiding deity of Maharashtra, very fond deity worshipped in the state of Maharashtra. In Mumbai, there is a big Siddhivinayak temple dedicated to Lord Vinayaka along with Riddhi and Siddhi. And it is said that this Vinayaka Swami presiding in Mumbai Devi, it is in the city of Mumbai, very auspicious Ganesh ji has so many powers of helping out the deities, cross over obstacles in life, so on and so forth. In fact, this Ganesh ji is the one who is being extolled over here in this Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. We have been seeing this last 2 days. Today is the third day, and we will be completing this Upanishad today. So I thank everybody in the Northwest Indiana Center for having these talks. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram. Bija Puragadekshu Karma Karuja Chakrabja Pashotpala Vrihya Grasva Vishana Ratna Kalasha Prodyat Karam Boruhaha Dhyeyo Vallabhayasa Padmakaraya Shlishtojvalad Bhushaya Vishvotpatti Vipatti Samstitikaro Vignesha Ishtartadaha. Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glom Gam Ganapati Varvarada Sarvajanam Meshmane Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glom Gam Ganapati Varvarada Sarvajanam Meshmane Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glom Gam Ganapati Varvarada Sarvajanam Meshmane Swaha. I just uttered this powerful mantra of Ganesh ji. And in this mantra, there are so many bija aksharas. Bija meaning sound, seed, the seed, akshara, the syllables, the varnamala, the alphabets, and bija are considered to be the very seed alphabets which holds within themselves a great power. Just like a tiny little mustard seed, like the banyan seed, when it grows, it turns into a giant Vatavruksha. It turns into a giant banyan tree. And that whole banyan tree resides in a tiny little seed. The banyan seed of tomorrow resides in the banyan seed of today. So in the same way, the infinite powers of the universe, they reside in these bija aksharas. In our Sanskritam, we have the Aksharmala. We have 16 vowels: a, I, u, ru, lu, ru, a, I, o, au, aham. Kam, kham, gam, gam, nyam, cham, cham, jam, jam, nam, tam, tam, dam, dam, nam, tam, tam, dam, dam, nam, pam, pam, bam, bam, mam, yam, ram, lam, vam, sham, sham, sam, ham, lam, sham. In these, I added ma to every one of them. I didn't say ka, kha, ga, ga. I said kam, kham, gam, gam, nam. So each one of these sound syllables, they themselves turn into a mantra when the anuswara is added. When the makar is terminated properly, each one of these aksharas have the power to unleash the energy of the universe. And the power which resides in certain combination of these vowels and consonants put together, it releases a particular powerful energy. And that is what is discussed in mantra number 9, which I started talking about yesterday, but didn't quite complete it properly. So in this mantra number 9, the power of mantra is talked about, because how do we access the Saguna Swaroop of Vinayaka, Saguna Swaroop of Ganapati? The Nirgun Swaroop we saw in all these mantras yesterday. Yesterday was complete Nirgun Nirakar Swaroop. Now Sagun Sakar, we all know that Ganesh ji has an elephant head, a big body, and he rides on a mouse, and all these things we know. But nobody has been able to see Ganapati. What we know about Ganapati is what we have heard from the description of Vinayaka in the Vedas. And it is said in the Vedas, Ganaka Rishi is the mantra drashta of Ganapati. And he is the drashta of Ganapati through the median of mantra. So for each mantra, there is a mantra drashta rishi, a rishi who has seen the mantra. That mantra exists in a particular prosody known as Chandas, and then the deity associated with that mantra. So three things are inseparable: the rishi, the Chandas, and the Devata. And when this mantra is addressed with Bij Aksharas, it is as good as Ganeshji itself. The mantra has more power than anything else. And thus, over here, the whole Ganapati mantra is revealed over here. Ganadi im purvamucharya varnadi in sadanantaram. So, ganadi im. So, the first syllable in the Varnamala over here for Vinayaka, ga is taken. Having uttered that first, Anuswara parataraha. The ma is added, gum. And then Arde endulasitam. The Chandra, Ardha Chandra is on the top of ga. And within the Chandra, it is called Chandra Bindu. In there is a dot. So, gum it is pronounced. The Chandra Bindu with the M, Tarena Ruddham. And then the Tarak Mantra Om is added as the prefix Ruddham, Etat, Etat, Tavam, Manuswara Rupam. Oh Ganesh ji, this is your form. Om Gum. That itself is Bhagavan, your form. And then Etattavam Manuswara Rupam, Gakara Purva Rupam. Now the whole mantra is taken. So Gakara Purva Rupam, that Ga is taken. Akaro Madhyama Rupam. So Ga, then you add a, G, then you add a, and it becomes G plus a becomes Ga. You know, so that whole, how the akshara is formed is what is written over here. So Gakara Purva Rupam, Akaro Madhyama Rupam, Anuswarascha Antya Rupam, Chantya Rupam. This is the end is Akara. So Gam, G, A, and there is a Chandra Bindu, Chandra, Arde Endulasitam. So that is also part of it. Binduruttara Rupam, and that dot is at the end. Nada Sandhanam, the sound Om Gam, that itself is the Sandhanam. Sandhanam meaning it is closely associated. All Om Ga all put together is Sandhanam. All in that particular order is the Bij mantra. Om Gum is the Bij mantra, and Sugumhita Sandhihi, and the union of all of them is the syllable of Ganapati, Om Gum. So this is what is revealed over here. Now, you know, I have to mention, if you have this book about Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad, Pujya Guruji has written, he explains in here very well that, you know, yes, Padmini ji just, it is this book right here. So, you know, when I talk about a rose, you all have seen a rose. When I say a glass, so you all have different idea of glass. I happen to have a clear glass with water in it over here. When I say pencil, pen, any name has a form associated with it, and that form rises in your mind when I say a cow, a dog, a cat. Now, when we say Ganapati, the form rises. But the uniqueness of a cow and a Ganapati is, cow we have seen, Ganapati we have not seen. Rose we have seen, Ganapati we have not seen. Book we have seen, pencil we have seen. All the words that we use for various forms in this manifested world, we have seen. But uniqueness of Ganapati is, we have heard about Ganeshji, but we have not seen it. So, Shastra is called Shruti, heard. It is heard by Rishi. Thus it is called Shruti. The way the mantras are revealed, and they are revealed to various rishis. And as the rishi heard it, they wrote it down. And that has become the Vedas. Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam, Durga Suktam, Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. We cannot change and modify these mantras. These are called mantras. Bhagavad Gita is called Smruti. It is written through the memory of Vedvyas Maharshi Ji. But Vedas are not authored, they are apaurushaya. They are not authored. And Vedas are in fact revealed. And they are revealed to various rishis. And those rishis, as it was revealed, it was written down. So, the way the mantras are words put together based upon a live experience of a rishi. It was revealed to them. And their revelation is what is written down. And thus, the mantras have to be treated properly, and they have power. Because they talk about something which we cannot see, but just because we cannot see, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists. This is not a figment of imagination of people meditating. They were not hallucinating. They were in the highest of samadhi. And the truth revealed itself in a particular way. And this Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad is saying that this Om Gum is a Bij mantra, and that Bij mantra was revealed. To whom it was revealed? Now we will see mantra number 10. Saisha Ganesha Vidya Ganakarishihi Nichradgayatri Chandaha Ganapatir Devata. So, when we say a mantra, I just started out by saying that the mantra is revealed. Mantra is revealed to Rishi. So, Sa Esha Ganesha Vidya. This is the Vidya of Vinayaka. Vidya meaning this is the methodology required to reveal Ganesh Ji in our life. Should we want to reveal him, this is the method to be revealed. What is the method? So we have any mantra we chant, without chanting the name of the Rishi, the Chandas and the Devata, the mantra is ineffective. So, Ganaka Rishihi, we meditate upon the Ganaka Rishihi in the very forehead. We remember the Rishi who gave us Vinayaka. And then between the nose and the upper lip in this region is where a special muscle resides to contract our lips and to form our mouth in a particular shape so various syllables can be uttered. And the syllables put together becomes chandas. So, you know, there are, if an American tries to chant Gayatri mantra, we will immediately tell, a non-native is chanting it, isn't it? Because the mouth will not move in the fluidity in which a mouth which knows Sanskrit chants. So, Ganakarishihi Nichrud Gayatri Chandaha. So we remember above our mouth the Devi presiding over, the power presiding over all these aksharas put together in that particular order, which creates a sound effect. And this sound effect is capable of producing a devata. Thus, the next one is Ganapatir Devata. So you take the thumb and you create a mushti and you put it on your chest, and that is how you represent Devata. Because in Upanishad it is said, Angushtamatra Purushaha Madhye Atmani Tishtati. So this is the Devata, and this Devata in the middle of my own heart, I am meditating upon Om Saisha Ganesha Vidya Ganakarishihi Nichrud Gayatri Chandaha Ganapatir Devata. I cannot say anything more about this. The only thing is Ganakarishi is a great Rishi to whom Vinayak Bhagavan was revealed. So we remember him. Then we remember this Nichrud Gayatri Chandaha. You know Gayatri Chanda. Bhurvaswah Tatsaviturvare Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. These 24 syllables make a particular prosody that is called Gayatri Chandas. Now over here, it is Nichrud Gayatri Chandaha. It is a version of Gayatri and Ganapatir Devata. So over here we remember Bhagavan Ganesh Ji. And what is the mantra? Mantra number 11 reveals the mantra Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So this is the mantra. And Om Gam are the Bij Aksharas. And in order to chant this Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, you have to remember the Rishi, you have to remember the Chandas, you have to meditate upon Ganesh Ji, his entire form. If you may have noticed, these 3 days, I started out my talk by chanting a Dhyan Shloka of Mahaganapati. Bija Puragade Kshukar Makaruja Chakrabja Pashotpala Vrihya Grasavisha. So it's a big mantra, a big shloka is there, and it describes the form of Sri Vidya Ganesh Ji. So you can say Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganadipataye Namaha. Smarami Ganakarishihi Nichrud Gayatri Chandaha Ganapatir Devata. Then you can start chanting your mantra Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha is considered to be a Siddha mantra. It is in Upanishad and its nyas is given as Rishi, Chandas and Devata in the Upanishad itself. So this is a very powerful mantra. Salutations to Mahaganapati, who is the remover of all obstacles. Okay, continuing. Mantra number 12 now is the Gayatri of Ganapati Bhagavan. Every deity has its own Gayatri. So, Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dante Prachodayat. So, the typical way of doing a mantra japa is we remember the Rishi, remember the Chandas, remember the Devata. Then we chant the Dhyan Shloka, Vakratunda you can chant, and then you can do your mantra japa 108 times. After you are done chanting, then this Gayatri of that particular deity needs to be chanted for minimum 12 times. For that 108 times mantra to be effective. And this Ekadantaya Vidmahe. So, Vidmahe, we have heard him to have one tusk, Ekadanta, and Vakratunda. And the tunda, the trunk is Vakra. It comes, you will never see Ganeshji with a straight trunk. Either the trunk will be on the left hand side or the trunk will be on the right hand side. If it is on the right hand side, you know, it is on the modak. If it is on the left hand side, then he is holding the Sudha Amruta Kalash. These are the two forms of the trunk on either side. So we see Ekadanta, the one who is one tusk. Why one tusk? Because the right hand side tusk of Ganeshji, he broke and he started using it as a stencil to write the Mahabharat for Vyas Maharshi ji. So that is why Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi. In our mind, we meditate upon this. We meditate on Ganeshji, who has one tusk, who has a curved tusk, and Tanno Danti Prachodaya. May we bow down to him. Tam Naha, onto us, may this Ganeshji, Danti, the one who is one tusked, may he reveal divinity to us. May he inspire us. May he reveal Brahman to us. So that is this Gayatri of Ganeshji. Now, his Saguna form is given, and you can chant this as Dhyan Shloka itself. Ekadantam chatur hastam pashamankushadharinam radam chavaradam hastairhi vibranam mushakadvajam raktam lambodaram shurpakarnakam raktavasasam raktagandhanuliptangam raktapushpai supujitam bhaktanukampinam devam jagatkaranamachyutam Avirbhutam cha shrushtiyado prakrute ev purushat param evam dhyayatiyo nityam sayogi yoginam varaha. So the entire 13th mantra actually is a dhyan mantra of Ganeshji. It should be dhyan shloka, but because it is in a Upanishad, it is called mantra. So you can use this to meditate upon the Sakar, Saguna Sakar, along with the form and along with the qualities of Ganesha. You can meditate upon this. What is this? Ekadantam Chaturhastam. Who is Ganeshji? He has one tusk, 4 hands, Pashamankushadharinam. And on his right hand, he has Ankush. And on his left hand, he has Pasha. The two upper, Pasha and Ankusha, is what he has, Ganeshji. And then Radam cha Varadam Hastairhi Bipranam Mushakadvajam. And then he has one side is Ekadanta and the other side is long tusk Radam. Radam, it is a tusk. Chavaradam, and he has the Varada Mudra. Hastaihi, the hand has Varada Mudra. Bibranam Mushakadvajam. And this, his insignia is, there is a mouse right in front of him. or he bears his chariot, bears a flag with a mouse, Mushaka Dvajam. Dvaja is a flag or an insignia, or his temple will have a flag with a mushak on it. So a mushak is a symbolic representation of the activity. It is a very active animal, and the active mushaka represents as though the very active mind. The mind is continuously chanchalam himana krishna pramati balavadrudam tasya nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkritam. You know, Arjunji says to Bhagavan Krishna that chanchalam himana krishna, Bhagavan, the mind is very chanchal. Vayoriva sudushkritam. And it is so difficult. It is like this Vayu, the gati of Vayu, who can capture it except just put a windmill and allow it to move the, that's all. We cannot capture Vayu. So Vayu cannot be captured. Water can be captured in a dam, but Vayu, there is nothing you can do. You can harness the energy of the wind god by putting a windmill. That's it. So that is the chanchalta of the mind is represented by Mushak. And Ganeshji is a presiding deity of intelligence. This intelligence will only reveal itself provided the mind is available for the intellect. So the symbolism of Ganeshji is to tame the chanchalata of the mind. Imagine such a huge body and a pretty little mouse, and he sits on top of it. It would be crushing that entire mind. So we have to have a power to put our mind into place. That is what it means. So then radam chavaradam hastaihi vibranam mushakadvajam raktam lambodaram. Raktam, he is of the color red in color. Sindura varnam, rakta varnam, lambodaram. Lambodaram, he has a big belly. So this big belly is a symbolic representation of being able to digest the various experiences in life. That is what that represents. Shurpa karnakam, and huge ears for listening more. Raktavasasam, and he who wears red clothes. Red is a color of auspiciousness. So he is a Mangaladata, Mangalamurti. You know, he says Mangalamurti Moria, people chant. So Mangalamurti meaning the one who is a doer of auspiciousness. So the red is a symbolic color of auspiciousness. So he is crimson red in color. His clothes are red. Rakta Gandhanu Liptangam. Rakta Gandhanum. He loves the red hibiscus flower. So the one who is worshipped by red flowers, Rakta Gandhanu Liptangam. Oh, sorry, Rakta Gandham. Gandham over here, paste. The sandalwood paste mixed with the kumkum is what he has applied on his body, whose body is smeared with red sandal paste. And Rakta Pushpaihi over here. Now he is worshipped by the red flowers, especially hibiscus is the one which is used for his worship, and also arali. Arali is also another flower used for his worship. So these are all red colored flowers. So Rakta Gandhanu Liptangam Rakta Pushpaihi Supujitam Bhaktanu Kampinam. The one who is compassionate towards his devotees, Devam. Dyotanath Deva, the one who is self-effulgent. This word appears in Katho Upanishad, and Shankaracharya ji gives the Shabda Vyutpatti of Dev as Dyotanath Dev over there. That which is self-effulgent, self-illumining. So he is a Devata. Devata, he is filled with the light of awareness. He in fact is the light of awareness. Jagat Karanam, the one who is cause of the whole world. Achyutam, the one who is unfallen. The one who Achyuta, Chutam na vidyate iti Achyuta, the one who never loses one's own status. Avir Bhutam, the one who comes into manifestation, existence. Shrushyadau, at the beginning of the creation, Prakrutehe Purushat Param, beyond the Purusha and Prakriti, Ganesh ji has existed. So Purusha and Prakriti is the symbolic representation of the Sankhya Darshan. You know, in Sankhya, Purusha and Prakriti is Anadi Ananta. But over here, that even the Anadi Ananta Purusha and Prakriti, Ganesh ji is beyond that. That pure awareness, consciousness, which precedes both the matter and energy as Purusha and Prakriti. Evam dhyayati yo nityam sayogi yoginam varaha. In this way, who meditates upon Ganesh ji, first the meditation, one who reveals the whole form of Ganesh ji in the mind, then remembers, the one who remembers the Rishi, the Chandas, the mantra, then remembers the form, and as they are chanting the mantra, this form remains in the background of the mind. So the mantra, the japa, and the one that is indicated by this japa akshara are always in union. So this reveals the saguna sakara form of Ganesh ji is what is mentioned over here. The last mantra, Namo Vratapataye, Namo Ganapataye, Namah Pramatapataye, Namaste Stulambodharaye, Ekadantaya Vignanashine, Shivasutaya Varadamurtaye Namaha. So, Namo Vratapataye, the one, O Lord, one who is revealed by colossal effort, Vratapataye, the one who is revealed through colossal effort, hard work, all that. Namo Ganapataye, O Lord of the Ganas. And first day I had talked about what is Gana as Ganit, and also Gana, all the Pramatha Ganas of Lord Shiva. And somebody was mentioning these Pramatha Ganas are the unruly vrittis, and that is very true as well. That can also be applied, that he is the Lord of this unruly vrittis. Actually, you know, this reminds me about in our Hindustani classical music or Karnataka classical music, we have Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa. We have the Saptaswaras, and then the eighth one is nothing but the first one, Sambodhan Vritti. Okay. So in the Saptaswaras, Sa, so some, it's a Bij mantra of Chandra Bhagavan. Chandra is none other than mind. And what kind of mind is that? Re. It is Ram, Bij mantra of Agni, intensely at fire. So that Sa, Re, now it has to be controlled. How? Ga, Ganapati, Gam. Ganapati is the one which is required to control all the different types of asuric vrittis of the mind. Through music we are controlling. So sa, re, ga. And then ma. It puts an anuswara. It puts an end to all those vrittis. That's why it becomes gam. Sa, re, ga, ma. Ma is also a Bij mantra of Hamsa. Hamsamsaya vidmahe paramhamsaya dhimahi tanno hamsa prachodayat. So Hamsa, the Bij mantra, Anuswar, is a Bij mantra of the mind of a yogi, Hamsa. Muni Manasa Raja Hamsika, it comes in Lalita Sahasrana. You know, she who is a royal swan swimming in the lake of the manas of a yogi. So this ma is putting an end to all the vrittis. So sa, re, ga, ma. And then what kind of mind does it become? Pavana mind. It has purified. And what do you do to the Pavan mind? Ni, offer it to Nishchayatmika Buddhi. And Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, oh, the. So this Pavan mind is taken to a Drudha Nishchay, and the Drudha Nishchay goes to the Nishchayatmika Buddhi. And at that point in time, sa, it ends, that mind has become control. So through music, it is the control of the mind. So even our Sapta Swaras are also nothing but a way to capture the mind. Whether we look at our Indian classical music, Indian dance system, our clothing, our eating, the rishis had created this culture to deliver the mind to Brahman, period. There is a beauty, there's Advaita in everything. Even in the Bharatnatyam, all those 7 different layers that she goes through to come to Tillana at the end, which is the dance of joy to become one with Bhagavan. So, but it's just to start with Varnam and then Jatiswaram and all those things. So the Jati, the Gati has to be towards Bhagavan. So anyway, all this, if we know it, everything is Shastra, basically. So, Namo Vratapate, Namo Ganapataye. So, and it is with colossal, even music, somebody only becomes better in these classical musicians. My goodness, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 hours they sing. And only then they become, you know, such melodious music. And a ravage of a mind can be captured by a beautiful note put together. Bus, as simple as that. That is a glory of Namo Ganapataye. Namo Pramathapataye. Namah Pramathapataye. Pramathapataye, Lord of the devotees of Lord Shiva, Pramathaganas. So even Pramathaganas, Bhagavan's devotees, he is the Lord of them. Namaste astu lambodharaya ekadantaya ekadantaya vigna Nashine Shivasutaya Varadamurtaye Namaha. So Ekadantaya, one tusked, Vigna Nashine, the remover of obstacles, the one who destroys all the obstacles. Shivasutaya, the son of Lord Shiva. Varadamurtaye, the one onto him, the form which bestows upon all types of blessings, and the one who fulfills all desires. Prostrations onto you, Namaha. So we bow down to Ganesh ji. It is the Rishi who bows down to Ganesh ji after remembering and revealing him through this Upanishad. So this Upanishad started out by Bhagavan Ganesh ji. If at all there is a world, he alone is Adi Deva. Then he becomes the cause of the world, and the cause is Maya Prapanch. It is not an absolute cause, but it is a relative cycles world. It is a world of Maya, and in that Maya, he alone exists in Kalatraya, Avasthatraya, Shariratraya, and beyond that, in the Nirgun Swarup, he exists, and then Saguna Swarup, this mind goes after the Saguna Swarup because the mind requires some type of support, alambanam. And when the mind seeks the alambanam of Ganesh ji as a devata, that Ganesh ji quietens the mind, purifies the mind, so that his Nirguna Swarup can be realized. So we have just in 3 days completed Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. The remainder portion of this Upanishad is actually known as Phalashrutihi. Phalashrutihi, what do we get out of chanting this? Actually, you know, I am not a, some people chant Phalashruti, whatnot. I don't need to be reminded as to why I'm chanting this. I like my chanting to be for the sake of Bhagavan. That if I chant these many times, this will happen. These many times, this will happen. If Bhagavan is pleased by my bhakti, that is more than enough. Whatever we do, we should do for the sake of Ishwararpanam. That is more than enough. So usually I am not the one who chants Phalashruti of Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam or Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. I chant 11 times or something, Abhishekam with 11 times during Ganesh Chaturthi, and so many things we can do. You are welcome to chant Phalashruti, nothing wrong in it. Please don't misunderstand me. You can chant it. But as for our learning, the Vedanta text ends over here, and we end our Jnana Yajna early today. So I open this forum for questions. You guys have any questions? Here is a fantastic opportunity for you to ask any questions related to sadhana, any questions related to mantra japa, because we talked about it, and questions related to Vedanta, sadhana, and japam, because that is what was revealed in this Upanishad. Subhagaruji, you can make sure you unmute and allow people to speak if they have any questions.
Everybody is allowed to unmute. Swamiji. Everybody can unmute themselves and ask questions. Please go ahead.
If not, then Padmini ji, you can continue. We can end our yajna over here today. As whatever you need to continue, you can do that.
Thank you, Pujya Swamiji. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what is a good time for us to chant this Atarvashirsha, Swamiji? Is there a good time which is recommended?
So, Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad, the question is, what is a good time to chant it? Morning hours are very good to chant Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. When we take our bath, get ready, and when we are sitting in front of Bhagwan and, getting our puja material all ready and whatnot, we can start with Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. And in that 5 minutes, we'll be able to put the lamp properly, the flowers and Naivedyam, whatnot. And we are engaged in chanting. And by the time we sit down, we chant few mantras of Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, invoking grace and blessings of Ganesh Ji. And then you can do your Ishta Devata puja before going to work. It may be not a long puja, just simple, even Naivedyam, Panchopachar, you can offer in 5 minutes and start your day. But morning is a very good time to worship Ganesh Ji, remember Ganesh Ji. And of course, if you don't have, and if your routine in life is you come home from work, take bath, get ready, and in the evening you do, then you do it in the evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji.
Sure.
Hari Om. If anyone else has any questions?
Hari Om Swamiji, I have one question.
Yes, go ahead.
What is Adhyasa, and are Swamijis are immune to Adhyasas?
Are you talking about Adhyas?
Adhyasa.
Adhyas is superimpositioning. Is this what you are referring to?
Yes.
Okay. So one is a methodology that a Vedantic teacher uses to reveal Brahman to the student by doing a deliberate superimpositioning on this world. So the deliberate superimpositioning that the teacher does is, yes, there are 5 elements. Yes, there are 3 gunas, and yes, there are 3 bodies. And yes, there are pancha pranas. And then, yes, there are pancha koshas. All these things are there. And then what does the teacher do? Slowly, because this is what the student is seeing. Oh, I have a body, I have a mind, I have an intellect. Not only do I have it, others also have it. Because all of a sudden, if the teacher comes and tells the student, there is nothing in this world, you are also a figment of imagination, the student will think, what kind of teacher is this? So the teacher starts out with a deliberate superimpositioning, and then there is a negation of the deliberate superimpositioning.
Okay.
And after the negation, that now that you know what this world is, now you remove the Annamaya Kosha, then you remove the Pranamaya Kosha, then you remove the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, and what remains is Atma. So this is Adhyas, Adhyasad, this Adhyas.
Swamiji, perhaps at this point, if you could expound upon the word Vyavritis.
Vyahruti?
Yes.
like Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha. Is that what you're referring to?
Any of those, yes.
Okay. So any layer is referred to as Vyahruti. And like Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. So Bhuloka is referred to as Bhuhu. So Bhuhu becomes the Vyahruti for Bhuloka. Bhuvaha. Then Bhuvaha becomes the Vyahruti for the intermediary worlds. And Suvaha becomes the Vyahruti for the higher worlds, the Swargaloka. So when we take a particular loka and reduce it to Vyahruti, that Vyahruti carries a lot of power. The same Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha becomes the Vyahruti for Rig, Yajus and Samved. So the Bhu, Bhuva, Suvaha is an interchangeable Vyahruti not only for Loka but even for Vedas. So this is what a Vyahruti is. It is just a technical term used to refer to a particular state which is being described. It could be a physical locus, or in the Vedas, it could be a body of work.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Adhyasad, apavadat, nishprapancham prapanchyate. This is what I wanted to share with you when you asked me Adhyas. Adhyasad, apavadabhyam, deliberate superimpositioning, apavad, and then the removal of that, nishprapancham, of these 5 element created elemental world, prapanchyate, of this 5 elements is called Vedanta, the study of Vedanta. The deliberate superimpositioning upon the 5 elemental created world of the 5 elements and the removing of that, which is for the sole purpose of revealing Brahman hidden within it, is Vedanta.
I have one more question, Swamiji, but if anybody wants to ask question, please go ahead.
Swamiji, is Brahma Sutras the best way to learn about the Adhyasa and Apavada?
Adhyas and Apavad is a prakriya done in almost all Upanishads. The most famous Upanishad for Adhyas and Apavad is Taittiriya Upanishad. So Taittiriya Upanishad, the whole Panchakosha Vivek is called Adhyas and then Apavad. And then Brahmananda Valli follows that, and then Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yog Ved Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman So Oshnute Sarvan Kaman, all that. So that is the end which reveals Brahman when all the Panchakoshas are removed. I personally think Brahma Sutra and these big textbooks are specially created for people who have incredibly high intelligence and who have to use that intelligence somewhere. Sorry. And because of that, Vedvyas Maharshi Ji gave a systematic thought pattern for the one who is highly intellectual to accept the fact that Brahman is. So a study of Prasthanatrayi, like we say in Vedanta, of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra, if we have the bhagya of studying Bhagavad Gita, if we have bhagya of studying 4 or 5 prakarana granthas before the study of Upanishads, and if we have a bhagya of studying maybe 2 or 3 Upanishads from a teacher, and 4 sutras along with the introduction of Brahma Sutra, it gives us enough fodder for Mananan and Nididhyasan. But if time is there at hand, and if we do also possess good amount of dexterity of Sanskrit Bhasha, we can explore Brahma Sutra, no doubt about it. There is a lot to be understood in Brahma Sutra. Systematically, it is presented. This is how I would answer your question. So it is not that only in Brahma Sutras, Adhyarop and Apavad is there. It is not that. It is presented in a systematic form. That's all. The same mantras of the Upanishads are taken, and in each one of the particular chapters, a topic is taken up and explored in deep to convince our intellect without the shadow of a doubt for it to go into Brahmakara Vritti. This is the whole idea. Hari Om. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Swamiji.
There is a over here in chat, somebody has sent, Hari Om Swamiji, during Ganapati Utsav, people bring Ganapati idol for certain days, 1, 3, 5 or 10 or so. What is the significance of this tradition? Why don't they keep him for just fixed number of days like in Durga Puja? Good question. So, like I said, from Vinayak Chaturthi up to Anand Chaudas, these days are marked, 10 days are marked as an utsav for us to remind that this creative cycle has intelligence built into it. And the intelligence is Ganesha behind it. And the same clay of the earth is molded into a Saguna Sakara form and worship for 10 days, at the end of which the same Saguna Sakar is allowed to merge back into the earth with the element water. So earth and clay, water and clay brings out Vinayaka, and then water takes the clay back to the earth principle. The earth, which rotates around the sun for 1 year, in that 1 year, we also mark a growth of our own self. We grow as, you know, we say, oh, I'm 1 year older. And in that 1 year older, are we growing in intelligence? Physical body has grown, but have we grown spiritually? Have we grown in our understanding? So these 10 days are marked for an understanding for us to take upon a study of something in front of Vinayaka, because the Vedas were composed by him. So in olden days, these days, they would sit and pick up one particular textbook and study in front of Ganeshji and get his anugraha. And that entire year, that particular textbook was repeated to do nididhyasana and mananam on it. And upon the completion of that, the next year when Ganesh Ji comes, another textbook was taken. So that is to mark the growth of the subtle body. Our birthday marks the growth of the physical body. But how do we mark the growth of the subtle body? So we were forced to sit in front of the Adhipati of Vidya and actually offer the puja in terms of study. So if somebody couldn't study for 10 days, then they would say, okay, I will study for 3 days or 5 days. So this is the tradition. Now it is just sheer making noise in Mumbai. Oh my God, we look for this 10 days to be over. Dum, 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 noise, noise. That poor Vinayaka also wants to run away. This is not how we celebrate Vinayak Chaturthi. It is actually a festival which celebrates the innate intelligence in us. Good question. Okay. Then I have seen Om used as a symbol representing Ganesha as well as the 3 states, the Turiya in
Pratasmarami.
Oh, Pratasmarami and Atmabodh. Oh, okay. Can you go into that, or is that okay to? Okay, see, we have to, when we study Mandukya Upanishad goes into the study of Omkar. So, Akar, Ukar, and Makar. When we open our mouth, the sound starts with a. And then the sound creates the world of names and forms. And when we see something new, we are like, ooh, ooh, ooh. That ukar is the fascination of this world. And then when the fascination is over, we stop talking. Even when you are bored, when somebody is talking to you, what do? You look away from that person. Or you just don't even reply to their questions. Fascination over. So that's ma. A, u, is over. So, a, u, ma represents the Shrushti Sthiti, which is so exciting. Ukar, and then makar, it is over. So our Shrushti is Jagrat, but we are not just fascinated in the Jagrat, we still continue in the Swapna Avastha. So Ukar is the Swapna Avastha and Makar is the deep sleep state. But beyond these 3, there exists something beyond. So Om becomes a pointer pointed to the Turiya. So Omkar is etadalambanam shreshtaha, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam jnatva yoyat ichchasi tasya tat. In Katho Upanishad, this Omkar is talked about. Etadalambanam, it is a support. And this support we take to go, and then after we reach over there, we drop the support and that alone remains. It's Gurudev gives the example of a pole vault high jumper, takes a bamboo pole, runs with it, puts it in the ground, gets up into the air onto the other side, and he doesn't hold on to the pole. He drops the pole on the other side. Otherwise, he will come crashing down. And then he comes out on the other side and he's victorious. So Omkar is it is a support. So when if it is a support, we see that this support is we see that Om is used as a symbol representing Ganesha. Yeah, he is the absolute represented by that. And in Pratasmarami, all three shlokas are, it is just Vedanta is what is explained in Pratasmarami in the three states. Like I said, the Mandukya Upanishad goes into the deep explanation of it. So yeah, it's interchangeable. That's all there is to it.
Shankji had a question.
Yeah, I
Shankji,
had a
go ahead.
I had a question, Swamiji. The verse number 15. You covered up to 14, and the verse number 15 talks about meditating on this Atarvashirsha Upanishad. So when you do that, you become fit for realization.
Yes,
So,
like I said, 15, 16, 17, 18, all these mantras they are just nothing. I stopped at, like I said, all that is something known as phalashruti. You become qualified. But we qualify ourselves based upon how well we do our sadhana, how well we do our mantra japa. Are we growing in our devotion? Are we growing in our love of God? Are we growing in our understanding of Vedanta? Am I practicing? Am I able to get over my own raga and dveshas? So that is the actual litmus test of growth, and not just how many times we chant Atarvashirsha Upanishad. We can chant 1,000 times, but if we are krodhi at the end of the day, what will that 1,000 times chanting of Atarvashirsha do? So along with the chanting of this, when understanding is there, then we liberate ourselves from raga, dvesha, ahankar, anger, so on and so forth, the shat vairi of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So that is more important. The study of Shastra should bring about clarity in the transformation of our living. If we don't transform, then whatever we do is not quite working. And for this, self-honesty is important. We have to be self-honest and look at ourselves and see if we are growing. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, continue with your question, Japa.
Yeah, I was just, you made a comment that people can ask questions about japa, sadhana, and Vedanta.
Yes, correct.
So this japa and sadhana and meditation concept is applicable to every Upanishad.
There are certain Upanishads which are for upasana, and there are certain Upanishads which are in the Vedanta portion, and they are actually the Upanishads where you should not use them as Parayanam. But Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad, like I said, is in the Brahmana portion, and it is taken as Parayana, as Upasana, as Japa. Our own Pujya Guruji, when he was a boy, he said, I used to do this Upanishad 1,000 times a day. From childhood, he said, I have done 1,000 times Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad. From I was 5 years old, my Upanayanam was done, and this was along with Gayatri, this was given. And my dad gave me, and I did it while going to school, while coming home, while playing. So you imagine, he was just a boy. And then he said, later on, when I learned Ganapati Atarvashirsha Upanishad, I feel like Ganeshji blessed me. He gave me the bhagya of giving Gurudev in my life, and I studied. So it always humbles me. Whenever I chant this Upanishad, I think of Guruji, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Subram, you had question?
Yes,
Hari
Sonam.
Om, Swamiji.
But I don't know how
So my
much time.
question is,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Hari
I
Om,
guess there are several Subrams. I meant Subramanyam. Okay. Go ahead, Subram.
Swamiji, from Japa perspective, do we need to chant till the 10 verses, skipping the Phalastuti, or would you recommend the entire thing to chant multiple times if one is interested to do multiple times as Japa?
No, you don't need to do the Phalashruti. For Japa, you can do up to what I covered, up to, I
10th
believe,
verse.
10.
14.
No, I did up to 14. You should do up to
Oh,
14.
Okay, so
Today I covered up to 14.
okay.
So up to 14 you should do. Phalashruti starts after 14.
Okay.
Okay, because Sagun Sakar and Nirgun Nirakar are both included.
Okay.
And you should chant that together.
And one more question, Swamiji. Most of the times when I was growing up, I saw only Ganesha as Bala Ganesha like that. But later on, I learned Ganesha is married as well. But from Upasana and Dhyanam perspective, which form of Ganesha we should remember?
Whichever is pleasing to you. Whichever is pleasing to you, that is called Upasana. If I give you what is pleasing to me and it doesn't work with you, then you're going to scratch your head the whole time. Okay, that's good. Next question is, Ganesh Ji is worshipped as a remover of obstacles and he is the epitome of wisdom. Is he also controller of obstacles in the sense that he gives us the challenges also that are needed for our spiritual evolution? Absolutely. If we don't have obstacles, isn't it true that at the end of the year in mathematics we get an exam, science we get an exam, history we get an exam? So what is the exam of our life? Obstacles. Obstacles are our exams. And if we fail them, our lives are waiting. And if we pass them, then we reduce our sanchita karma and prarabdha bears better days. That's all. I think I will end over here. It is 8:05. I need to go. I have some meetings.
Subbarao Garu.
Hari Om, Swamiji, thank you very much for a wonderful discourse, and we hope to see you many more times in the future as well. And to everyone who is present here, thank you for joining in this Jnana Yajna. We are very grateful to all of you for your presence here. And if any of you are interested in making a donation to promote such Jnana Yajnas in the future, there is a PayPal link that is in the chat. You can click on it and then you will be able to donate. And please drop your email address in the chat so that in case we have future Jnana Yajna, somebody will be able to inform you personally to your email address. If you like to receive such notices in advance, please drop your email in the chat room before you sign off. And
It is Hari Om. It is customary to give Guru Dakshina. And so not only if you're interested, everyone must be interested. It is a gratitude to the Guru who has spent all this time along with all his sadhana. He has been able to give us so much knowledge, even answering our questions, which to him may seem very silly maybe, but he still very patiently answers them. So it is very customary, and everyone, not if interested, should be interested. Make that interest, alive, and please do it. It is our part to at least fulfill that part of it. Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. If there are any mistakes from us, please forgive us. And we are ever grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Om
you, Pooja.
swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaah go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini desho yangsho bharaitah brahmana santu nirvayah Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hari Om.